A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Naqvi. Today, inshallah, we are going to discuss about the passage about the Hajj, which is a part of Edexcel syllabus. The passage is taken from Surah Al-Baqarah, and three ayats are a part of this passage, ayat number 197 and 198 and 199. Let's move. Yes, sir. As usual, quickly, this is my YouTube address, Syllabus Islamic Studies by Naqvi. My blog address is sn-naqvi.blogspot.com. Syllabus board is Edexcel Islamic Studies. Syllabus component is section C 3.5, and part D is the Quranic passage or the Hadith. And main topic is Hajj, which is a part of your specifications, and the subtopic is Quran passage is from Surah Al-Baqarah, number 2 surah, and these three ayahs 197, 98, 90, 199 are a part of it. There is one thing which I felt I also had the same problem, so it is also important for you. While you are watching this video, please keep the text of the translation in front of you. The reason is a very simple one, because what happens that when I am explaining my thoughts over there after the translation, sometimes we cannot recall the translation, and it is not possible for me to go back to the translation then coming back, because that will disturb the whole video. So I also keep the translation in front of me wherever I have to read it. The same thing is with you. So while the translation is there with you, you can also see the translation as well as the explanation which is going on over there. It will be much easier for you to understand what is being explained. Move on. I only read out the translation, then I will explain the meaning of the translation later on. This is ayat number 197. Hajj is during well-known months. So whoever has made Hajj obligatory upon himself therein means in the months of Hajj, by entering the state of Ihram. Without Ihram is obligatory. Without coming into the state of Ihram, what is the state of Ihram? I will try to explain you later. There is to be for him no sexual relations, and no disobedience, and no disputing during Hajj. And whatever good you do, Allah knows it. And take provisions, but indeed the best provision is fear of Allah. And fear me, Allah. And fear me, O you of understanding. Ayat number 197. Move on. Ayat number 198. There is no blame upon you for seeking bounty from your Lord during Hajj. But when you depart from Arafat, remember Allah at Al-Mash'arul Haram, and remember Him as He has guided you, for indeed you were before that among those astray. Ayat 198 is over. Then 199. Then depart from the place from where all the people depart, and ask forgiveness of Allah. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Ayat 199. Teachings. I will read out the sentence. If there is something to explain, then I will. These three ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah teach us the manners and obligations of Hajj, how to perform Hajj, what to take care of. And please remember that Quran only gives the basic concept, the principles about any order, any commandment. The details are found in the Sunnah, and that is the importance of the Sunnah and the Hadith, that the details are found in the Sunnah and the Hadith. These ayat were revealed a few months before the death of the Prophet, probably 3 to 4 months before his death. He went to his last Hajj, and over there he showed to the Ummah the complete performance of Hajj, how to perform it, how to do it, and until now, today, we are following the same Hajj which is being taught by the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Then there were old traditions among Arabs and also among Quraysh of Makkah which were corrected at this occasion. Of course, Hajj was being performed for thousands of years, since the time when Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam commanded that the people should come over there to the house of Allah, and Allah revealed to their hearts of whatever happened. But the Arabs used to come to Kaaba for the sake of Hajj every year. And because the Arabs involved in paganism and other shirk, they also developed their own traditions and non-Islamic, rituals and all that, things. So they were all of them were corrected. Not only in this ayat, it is only a few things. There are so many traditions which were corrected, and they are found in the Quran or as well as in the Sunnah. For example, naked Hajj was absolutely forbidden. It is not there, but it is found in the other parts of the Quran and the Sunnah. That was these bad traditions or wrong concepts were corrected by Allah and of course by Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Well-known months were the 3 months before Hajj, including the month of Zilhajj in which Hajj is performed. They may be 3 months, they may be 4 months, in which the Arabs used to start their journey for or preparation for Hajj, and these were called the sacred months. And in those 4 months, the sacred months, all bloodshed, looting, killing people, looting the caravans, that was forbidden. That was their way of, tradition. They were the months of or peace. So Allah is talking about those 3 months or 4 months of Hajj. However, nowadays, because the traveling takes place because of the airplanes, so it is not very easy to determine them and use them. However, we know it very well that in the month of Zilhajj, 8 Zilhajj, the Hajj starts. So generally, a month before Zilhajj, people start gathering in Makkah and the Hajj takes place. But because the ayat was revealed in Makkah in those days when the sacred months were there, so Allah is talking about those months. In ayat 197, I come to the explanation of the ayat now. Allah says that those who decide to perform Hajj, determine who go to Hajj, the pilgrims, they must come in the state of Ihram. They must come in the state of Ihram means that Ihram is not the wearing of clothes. Ihram is the name of a certain condition in which a pilgrim decides that I have to perform Umrah or I have to perform Hajj. The state of Ihram is important. For men, generally, it is not generally, it is a confirmed thing that for men there are 2 unstitched cloths, 2 pieces of unstitched cloth, and for women it is the normal clothing of whatever they wear at home. And it is the niyyah or the intention of Hajj or Umrah, which the other details are there, but that determines that you are in the condition of Ihram. There is one small quote of the Quran: pilgrimage thereto is Makkah, is Kaaba. Pilgrimage thereto is a duty men owe to Allah. Every Muslim is to perform Hajj once in their lifetime. They must go if they are able to afford the journey to Allah. Those who can afford the journey. Surah Al Imran, this ayat is taken from Surah Al Imran. It's a small quote, but I always give small quotes just for you to remember it very easily. and you must please quote these ayat in the examinations. It makes a difference. This is Surah Al Imran, is third surah of the Quran. 97 is the ayat number. When they are in ihram, by the way, I just forgot to explain you that these ayat are concerning with the Edexcel syllabus, but for the Cambridge students, they are also doing Hajj as a part of their examination. So all this information is equally useful for them to remember. So if you come in contact with any of your friends who are sitting for Cambridge examination, CAIE, please give them the message that this passage is also important for you. So they will also watch it and they will also understand a few things. They are all important things. When they are in ihram, they must avoid 3 sins which are there in explained in the translation. They must avoid 3 sins which may make their Hajj unacceptable to Allah. If these 3 things take place, it's very, very important to ask forgiveness of Allah, and it is also possible that if we are involved, Allah may reject our Hajj. One is that they must avoid sexual relationship, and any talks concerning sex are forbidden. With the word which is used is rafasa. I use the word rafasa in the Arabic word because your examiners encourage that you should use the terms in your explanation, the terms which are Islamic, which are connected to that shows that you have also read Arabic text of the passage. So for this purpose, for your convenience, I gave the word rafasa, or the other words I try to enter into my explanation. However, you see, during the 5 days of Hajj, when you are in the ihram condition, 3 days about, and you are in Hajj atmosphere, then the purpose is to quit world completely. Your business, your relationships, your son, your daughters, your parents, and the other worldly things. One of the important things, a part of our life, is sex, which is a part of our life, which is we eat, we drink, and we have sexual relationships or thoughts in our mind. It is very natural. But during these Hajj period, Allah makes it strictly forbidden that the relationship between the husband and the wife must be over during these 5 days only, or maybe less than 5 days. And at the same time, any talks in which you involve yourself about the sex and or sexual talks, they must be avoided. They must be avoided. One condition. Number 2 is this, that they should not commit acts which are forbidden. For example, cutting hair, nails, hunting, wearing perfumes. They are all gunah. They are all sins. And as the restrictions, Allah calls it fisq, fusuq. The plural is fusuq. They are sins which are to be stopped. This is the second condition. And the third condition is they must avoid any conflicts, fights, anger, verbal abuses. The word is used jidal. Jadal is jang, ladai, jhagda, and jidal is the calls or fights or conflicts or even arguments. Even scolding children, even scolding slaves are now your servants is not allowed. Hajj is a month of total and complete peace. So this is jidal, must be, these 3 things are to be avoided. Allah likes that pilgrim should fear Allah, and because Allah says that you should not do it, that you must follow the way of Allah. Allah says don't do it, means don't do it. Allah likes that pilgrims should fear Allah. Allah se dariye. And in olden days, it was considered a sin to take food stuff or wealth, which is the translation says there is no blame upon you for seeking bounty from your Lord during Hajj. Bounty here means that it was considered to be a sin in the olden days before the Prophet ﷺ, that if you are going to Hajj, you take along the food stuff with you or you take along your money with you. No, you should go empty-handed completely. When you are empty-handed and you have got no money at all in your pocket and you have got no food stuff which is stored in those days, the dry food or whatever, then what are you going to do? You are going to the people because your hunger is there, your need of money is there. You will go to the people and beg them. Begging during the Hajj time, even after the Hajj time. Of course, Allah never likes begging. Begging people for food, for money, Allah never likes it. So therefore, Allah allows it that this old tradition is to be ended, and you may take your money and you may take your food stuff along with you, and over there just concentrate on the worship of Allah, on ibadat of Allah. Just concentrate. And if you have got your money with you or you've got your food stuff with you, food stuff is nowadays, today it is money which is more important. So this old tradition was broken down by Allah. Instead of begging people, it is better to keep expenditure of Hajj. And therefore Allah says it, if you can afford it, if a person is so poor that somehow he is able to go over there and he has got an empty pocket, then it is better not to perform Hajj. And at the same time, something is to be left back at home, so that the children should not go to the people, to their neighbors, to their relatives and asking money only because the father or mother or both of them, they have gone to Hajj and they are begging money. This is not allowed. Hajj is to be performed when you are a bit free from your financial point of view. Expenditure of Hajj. Move on. The way the provisions of this world are necessary, in the same way the fear of Allah is the best provision for the next world. Allah says that the best provision is the fear of Allah. And why is this the best provision? Because when I die, the only thing which I take to my grave and to my day of judgment is my amal, my good deeds. And when good deeds are not there, then I am empty-handed completely. So the best provision is the fear of Allah, which is being explained in this part of the ayat. Ayat 198 teaches us that if pilgrims do some business during Hajj, it is not a sin as it was considered previously, because in the olden days it was considered to be a big sin that you come to Hajj and you are doing your business. But nowadays it may not be very, very easy. However, in the olden days it was very much possible that you take any product of your own country, of your own place, to Makkah and sell it out over there and make money, and it was considered to be a sin. But Islam also broke down this tradition that you cannot do your business. Yes, you can do your business. You can sell out your products over there, make money, and live there happily and concentrate only to the ibadah, the worship of Allah during those days in Makkah and in Mina and other places. When the day of Arafat is over, the pilgrims should go to Muzdalifah or Mash'arul Haram. So after the Prophet's Hajj, we know it very, very clear. It is not a matter of confusion. However, confusion was removed in the time of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Now the established tradition or the orders or the commandment is this, that on 8 Zilhajj we go to Mina, 9 Zilhajj in the morning we go to Arafat, we spend the day over there, and after Maghrib time, not performance of the prayer over there, Maghrib time we come to the place called Muzdalifah, and which is also Mash'arul Haram. So the pilgrims come to Mash'arul Haram. So this is the established tradition now. But okay, let me read it out. Maybe I explain, otherwise I will explain it again. Remember, Allah who removed so many unnecessary burdens which you had adopted yourself. This is the bounty of Allah. This is the bounty ni'mat of Allah, that Allah has removed so many burdens and chains that you were wearing and you were suffering. And one of the chains is this, one of the burdens is this, that the people of Makkah, they were very proud. Right, that is also coming over there. Let me explain it in ayat number 199. Tells us that it was the practice of the Quraysh not to go to Arafat along with the common Arabs, because they considered themselves superior to common Arabs. This is clarified now. Well, you see, Quraysh were the organizers and administrators of Kaaba, and they always believed that we are not common Arabs. We are superior to the other Arabs. So the other Arabs would stay in Arafat, and then they would go to Muzdalifah, and the Quraysh would not go to Arafat at all, and they would probably go to Muzdalifah directly, or staying around there, or maybe in Makkah, or whatever the practice was. Islam vanished this practice and said very clearly that you are like the common people. In Hajj, there is no difference between the human beings at all. If you are superior, you could be superior in your own worldly, matters, maybe, though it is also not allowed. But in Hajj time, everyone is the same, whether it is Arab, non-Arab, common man, VVIP, whatever you are. But in Hajj, during Hajj time, you are common man. So the way all Arabs, they go to Arafat and then they go to Muzdalifah, you are also going to Arafat. You are also going to stay in Muzdalifah, Mash'arul Haram. This is what is said in ayat number 199, tells us that it was the practice of the Quraysh not to go to Arafat along with the common Arabs, because they considered themselves superior to common Arabs. Allah gives strict instructions that there is no superior, no inferior. Everyone is equal in the sight of Allah. And the superior one is the one who has the taqwa, who has the fear of Allah, who loves Allah. He is the superior one in the sight of Allah in Islam. Otherwise, there is no superiority of the human beings. I don't know why the concept of superiority comes at all. If I born in the house of a king, it is not my credit. It is not my credit. It is Allah who gave me birth in that. Or if I am born in a very, very ordinary kind of a family, it is not my fault. It is Allah who has given me the creation over there. So there is, what is the concept of superiority of human beings? One over the other. Everyone is equal in the sight of Allah. Therefore, Quraysh must go to Arafat. However, whatever happened in the past is not forgiven by Allah. Is not forgiven because whatever in the past, all the sins were forgiven of the past. In the same way, this sin that you were not staying in Arafat is also forgiven. But since now you are going to stay in Arafat along with the other Arabs, and you will not feel any superiority, because Allah, sorry for this, is small. Allah is forgiving and merciful, and Allah has forgiven you. Allah is merciful, and this is absolutely applicable to all of you. Even if you commit a sin during the Hajj, during the Umrah, or after the Umrah, after the Hajj, in your when you are living in this world, please ask forgiveness of Allah. Allah is very merciful. Allah is always ready to forgive you. Allah is very merciful. Thank you very much for this time taking. Please subscribe my channel. God bless you.